Revenge films.
My name is Kiyoko. I'm currently living together with my fiancé, Makoto. We've been friends since we were small kids, so I know almost everything about him, including the fact that he grew up rather poor. He has 2 younger siblings, a brother and a sister, but his mother refused to raise them properly and often neglected them. And so, it was up to Makoto to feed his siblings and take care of them properly. He's pretty much the reason they're alive today, and I fell in love with him after learning how kind and caring he can be. After dating for a couple of years, Makoto told me the truth about his family and why it was so dysfunctional. Apparently, his mother had the habit of going out with multiple men at the same time to satisfy her needs. His father knew about her deeds, but he never said a word about it to her. But her selfish ways was what put so much stress in the lives of Makoto and his siblings. And he told me that all 3 of them still despise their mother to this day. After aging poorly, however, his mother lost the ability to trick men into going out with her, and now she spends most of her day at home. But now that she is home, she acts like she's always been a good mother figure for her kids, which never fails to piss Makoto off. And that's why I've been putting off visiting my soon-to-be mother-in-law for a while. However, now that we're actually getting married, I was gonna have to meet them and introduce myself to them. So I made up my mind and finally decided to visit them in their house. And when we told him that we were getting married, his mother started yelling and screaming like a child. It was clear she hated the idea.
What the hell are you guys talking about? I'm not going to let you marry someone like her, you know.
What? Why not? What did Kiyoko do to you, huh?
Never, ever say that name in front of me again. She has the same name as the wife of one of the men I used to go out with. God, I loved him. But anyway, I'm not letting you marry her. No way.
We didn't know what to say. She was against our marriage because I had the same name as the wife of one of the men she used to go out with. That's a ridiculous reason to oppose our marriage.
Dad, say something. Tell her to stop being so crazy.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but it sounds like your mom has already made up her mind. You don't really have a choice at this point, son.
Now, you 2 better break up as soon as possible, all right?
My family has always been close with Makoto and his siblings, and we often welcomed them into our home and fed them when their parents were neglecting them. His mother should know about this, but she still refused to let us get married. And for a stupid, ridiculous reason at that. Makoto finally got fed up with his family and told me that we can ignore what his parents are saying. So we decided to go through with the marriage. After the wedding, we thought it'd be best if we visited Makoto's parents one last time to give them an update on our relationship. But when we visited their house, we saw his 2 siblings waiting there for us. All 4 of us have been very close since we were kids, so having them here made me feel a lot more comfortable and confident.
Ugh, yuck! You're back? I thought you guys would have broken up by now.
Well, we actually already got married.
What? You're still not welcome here, you bitch. Now, go away.
We didn't try to fight back the last time we were here, but this time around, things were different. Makoto was already prepared to cut ties with his parents, so we both had nothing to lose. Well, I'm not going to welcome you into our family either. I'm never going to consider you a part of my family. But anyways, this means that I'll never have to take care of you, right? You know what? Let's just cut ties with each other entirely, just to make things easier for everyone. When I grinned at her, her face immediately turned red. I could easily tell that she was furious at me, but I couldn't care less how she felt about me. Because she's been having affairs with married men, she's been involved in countless lawsuits throughout her life. My father-in-law has always been willing to compensate the other side and pay for his wife's legal fees. But I guess he didn't realize how much money he was spending every time, because now they're almost out of money. To put it simply, they're broke. And to make matters worse, my mother-in-law was a gambling addict. And so we wanted nothing to do with her or her addiction. So this was a good chance for us to distance ourselves from her. And we were finished yet, though. It was Makoto's turn to unleash all of his frustrations onto his mother.
I don't consider you as my mother anymore either. Oh yeah, and you're no father of mine.
We've suffered so much thanks to our mother, and you kept on enabling her.
That's when his two siblings joined in.
Yep. And we're cutting ties with you, too.
Me too!
Makoto and his siblings have been like family to me, and I think my parents feel the same way about them as well. And so they had nothing to lose either, and we all took necessary steps to cut ties with Makoto's parents as soon as we could. Our lawyer, who knew our situation very well, filled out all of the necessary forms for us in a matter of days. And thanks to her, we've now entirely cut our financial, legal, and social ties with Makoto's parents. Makoto is marrying into my family now, and he's going to take on my last name. But that's when my mother-in-law said this nervously.
Whoa, hold on, Ryota. Makoko, I don't care about what you two do, but Miki, you're gonna have to stay with us.
What? Why?
Just do it, alright? It doesn't matter why.
Well, there must be some kind of reason you want her to stay with you. You're gonna have to tell us.
It's because I need her to take care of us when we grow old.
I couldn't exactly understand what my mother-in-law was talking about. So I asked Miki, who was standing silently in awe next to me. Do you know what exactly she's talking about right now, Miki?
Well, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but the other day, she came into the bathroom while I was showering and took a few photos of me. We got into a huge fight, but I don't know if she ever deleted those photos.
As soon as he heard that, Makoto grabbed his mother's phone out from her hands and started looking through the photo folder. My mother-in-law started freaking out as Makoto kept on searching for the photos Miki was talking about. So Ryota stepped in between them to make sure that she couldn't get to her phone. But that's when
What the hell is this?
he pulled out a bunch of naked photos of his sister. They were all photos taken in the bathroom by his mother. When we demanded Makoto's mother for an explanation, she told us that she was planning on selling those photos of her daughter to a pornography website to make some cash. We were all furious when we heard this, but her husband still adamantly defended her.
Oh, come on, don't be so hard on your mother. She didn't know what she was doing. Isn't that right, honey?
Yeah, my husband's right. You should have told me that you didn't want me taking photos of you.
You're the worst!
God, you guys are the worst parents ever. I never want you back in my life again. Ever.
Whatever. Just give me back my phone, alright?
No, not until I delete these photos.
What? But they're my photos, and I have every right to sell them. I'm not going to let you touch them.
But I've already deleted all of them.
What?
And so, from that day on, we stopped communicating with Makoto's parents. After cutting ties with them entirely, we all moved into my parents' place and are living together as one big family. My brother-in-law is still in high school, so we're going to let him stay over at our place until he can support himself. My sister-in-law is still 20 years old, and we're not really comfortable with letting her live on her own just yet, so that's why we all ended up sleeping under the same roof. And after their kids moved out, Makoto's parents lost the means to support themselves. Up until that point, they've been paying their bills with their kids' salaries, but now they can't do that anymore. They're having a tough time putting food on the table. And that's why they've been calling us almost every day, demanding us to support them financially. But since we've already cut ties with each other, we're supposed to be complete strangers now. What happens to them is none of our concern, so we always just ignore them. They didn't stop bothering us though, so we all decided to get new phones and change our numbers. And fortunately, that did the trick. We haven't heard from them since. I heard a rumor that they ended up becoming homeless after being unable to pay their rent. Apparently, Makoto's father finally learned his lesson and vowed to never indulge his wife again. However, we all know that it's too late for that. A few years later, when I went out for a walk in the park with my newborn son, I saw Makoto's parents taking a bath in the river. They both had lost a lot of weight, and the fact that they were still alive surprised me. They were constantly fighting with each other, and I could tell that their relationship had deteriorated significantly since the last time I saw them. I obviously ignored them and walked away, but when I told my husband about what I saw that night, he let out a huge laugh and said that they had it coming to them. I'm glad we cut ties with them. If we hadn't done so, I don't think we could have been half as happy as we are now.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.